And we're on. Are you going to look at the camera? No? You just like to look at my hand mostly, don't you? That's the problem with you. Anyway, welcome to the January Owl Diary video. In this video, you'll learn about the many tawny owls we released, you learned about the helicopter that made a surprise visit, and find out what's coming up in the near future. Hi, I'm Ryan from Owl Adventures, and on my hand here we have Greta, who is a great grey owl, which is almost 5 years old. Now, great grey owls are native to Canada, Northern America and Northern Europe, often found in very cold parts of the world. So she's perfectly fine in today's weather, with a lot of snowfall yesterday, and it's currently around -3 degrees as well. But since she's absolutely fine, in fact she's got lots of feathers on there which she can tighten up to keep warm or loosen, as it were, to cool down if necessary. So she's enjoying the view today, the sun's out, and it's actually a really lovely January day. Now, the Owl Diary video is a chance for me to update you all on the things we've been getting up to over the past few months. Now, of course, we found ourselves back in lockdown, and we haven't had much display work on at all, actually, for almost 3 months now, and I don't think we will for a number of months just yet. I am pleased to say we did a little school visit at my children's school, took a couple of small owls, we flew the barn owl there as well, and the nursery children seemed to really enjoy it. They even made a card for me to say thank you. So I'd just like to say thank you to Moorside Primary School in Ripon for giving me that opportunity, because it was a taste of normality, really. As normally this time of the year we'd be doing quite a lot of school visits, we'd have various displays going on, but unfortunately, of course, it's not the case at the moment. Now, about 6 weeks ago, we did actually take on 5 owls from a little centre who are having troubles with their zoo licence. They've done nothing wrong, it's just a COVID-related problem, a bit of a delay. So for the time being, we've been looking after a pair of African spotted eagle owls, a pair of snowy owls, and one barn owl whose name is Merlin. Now, the barn owl is nice and tame, which means we can easily handle him, weigh him, check his health and things like that. The other owls, unfortunately, are not so tame. They're parent-reared birds. Having said that, the female snowy owl probably was hand-reared originally, because she's actually not too bad. And if I approach her slowly in the aviary, she'll step on my hand and she'll sit on my hand there for a number of minutes before flying off again. So she's actually quite a calm bird. I'm also looking after a couple of exotic animals for them as well. One corn snake, and, prepare yourselves, spider image approaching, this salmon pink bird-eating spider. Now, I've handled many tarantulas in my life, but this one is the largest tarantula I've ever held in my life. It's like a small dog. It's enormous. In fact, I love it. It's wonderful. Now, you may be already aware that we rescue injured wild birds, rehabilitate them and release them back into the wild again. And we have had quite a few rescues come in recently. The most recent was a buzzard, a male buzzard, which was unfortunately clipped by a car. It was found at the side of the road, and after a few days of food and recovery treatment, it was starting to fly around in the aviary. Now, it had an x-ray, there are no breaks in there, nothing that needs to heal as such. It can fly absolutely fine, but unfortunately, as you can see here, it can't stand on its legs properly. Now, this could be a tendon or nerve damage to the legs. It could also be a brain damage issue which is affecting the legs. Now, if it can't recuperate fully, it will not, as you can imagine, be able to survive in the wild. It just wouldn't be able to hunt with those legs. So we're giving it some time to see if it will actually heal. If it doesn't, we'll have to have a revisit to the vet and see what we can do. And it wouldn't look very good, unfortunately, as an outcome if that was what we had to do. We've also had quite a lot of tawny owls come in recently, which we've been able to rescue and release. And we really have released tawny owl after tawny owl after tawny owl, after tawny owl, after tawny owl, after tawny owl. It's good to know that about 84% of all wild tawny owls in Britain were released by us. Now, of course, I'm only joking. There are lots of tawny owls out there, and the reason we end up with so many is because they're just so common and more people tend to find them. In fact, we've actually had an increase of about 60% in releases this year compared to the previous years put together. So it's fantastic that the word's getting out there and that we're able to do more of that work. It really is very important. Now, there was a rather interesting incident in the Museum Gardens in York, where we regularly do our bird display, back in October, where an air ambulance suddenly landed in the gardens close by, and the wind produced by the propellers actually blew over the barrier that surrounds the bird display and took the gazebo up into the air and blew that over as well. Luckily, the birds were absolutely fine and they weren't particularly startled by it either. We just had to make sure that when it was taking off again, we had hold of everything so that nothing blew over. Now, I'm pleased to say we have a wonderful team of volunteers who help us both on displays and at headquarters, and some of the volunteers who had never seen where we keep the birds paid us a visit in the autumn to actually help out for the day. I'd like to thank Emily and Paulina and Alan for coming down. We had a great day. They did some cleaning. They learnt about some of the falconry husbandry tasks that we do each day, and we also flew some birds as well. We flew some falcons and some of the owls too. Now, that leads me nicely on to flying at the moment. It's actually quite challenging to fly the birds free at the moment, largely due to the bird flu that's currently going around, and there are some restrictions in law, just like with COVID-19, to help stop the spread of that. Now, this just means we have to be very careful about which birds we fly and where we fly them. For example, a barn owl flying in the woods just near the aviaries there is pretty safe. However, our falcons, who fly quite high and far, I know that about half a mile over there we have a lake with many migratory birds around there. That would be a bit too risky. So we can't fly our falcons at the moment, and some of the other birds that like to have little adventures, unfortunately. So what's next? Well, essentially, we just need to get through this lockdown and get through to the summer season. We have great hope that things will begin to improve greatly from around April onwards. I'm pleased to say we have got flying shows booked in again from April onwards. We've got our flying shows at Harlow Car near Harrogate booked in again. That's a Royal Horticultural Society venue. One of my favourite places to do the shows. It's a lovely venue, and we have wonderful audiences there who are really interested and get involved as well. So that's happening in the Easter holidays, hopefully. We've also got Ilkley Carnival, in theory, on the May Day, Bank Holiday Monday, and we also have the York Balloon Fiesta at the end of May, just to name a few of the shows we've actually got booked in. So we're just keeping our fingers crossed that by April things will improve enough for us to get back out and start doing bird displays again. Now, a little announcement. On Friday the 15th of January at 1 o'clock UK time, I'll be doing a live video on YouTube with an owl flying free, and I'll be answering your questions as well. Bit of a homeschooling resource. So if you can join us, then please do. Otherwise, stay safe, and we'll see you on the other side of this lockdown. Thanks for watching.